Hey, welcome to the official Windows 8 channel, and maybe you're looking at a brand new laptop, brand new desktop, and I've seen Intel chips that are basically numbered with Intel i3, i5, or i7, and they have this little number next to it. For example, my Toshiba laptop has a Core i5, which is a 3210M CPU. Now you're probably saying to yourself, what does it mean? And what should I choose? If I'm at the store, I've got an i3 or an i5 or an i7 in front of me, what do I buy? And that's probably the most asked questions. People go to the store, look at that, just don't understand much about it. And lots of people actually I've seen buy the cheapest. They'll go with the i3, and but others will say, well, is i5 or i7 really better than i3? What's the difference between all three of them? I'll try to put it really the down-to-earth explanation. There's not going to be much technical stuff in what I'm going to say here, because that's probably the best way people understand stuff. Basically, okay, we can consider i3 being the low-grade Intel processor, i5 is the mid-range, and i7 is the higher end of the processor. So don't think of that as quality. Nothing has to do with quality. The i3 and the i7 have the same built quality. What they don't have is the same processing power. So an i3 will not break down sooner than an i7. It's just a different type of processor power. Basically, what is admitted among most technical experts is that the Core i5 in Intel is the best money can buy if you compare it with the price you're paying. So you probably have more for your money on an i5 than you have on an i3 or an i7. That's the first thing. So when my clients call me up and say, well, what should I buy? I basically always say, look, you don't do that much with a computer. If you're doing just general email and, a little internet searches, if you've got the money to do it, buy an i5. An i5 will bring you good performance. Whatever i5 you'll buy will be a great machine. And what's cool is that the i5 has a built-in graphics chip, which is also a cool feature here. Now, if you don't have too much money and say, well, I only have enough money to buy an i3 machine, am I doing a bad deal? Well, you're not really doing something like a bad deal. I wouldn't call it like that. It's just that the performance difference between an i3 and an i5 is big enough that if you put both machines next to each other, you'll see that the i3 is typically slower in its performance. And I rarely say to people buy an i3, but I'm also, I also know that not everybody has money to spend on sometimes $100 more for a computer is a lot for some people and for a lot of people. So buying an i3 is not buying a bad machine. It's just buying a machine that has slightly less processing power. But if you only do email and internet and stuff like that, you'll still have a good machine that will still run at a reasonable speed. If you've got the money, I really push much more to the i5 processor. More performance, and also the performance you get with the money you'll pay is actually better than both the i3 or i7. And if you buy a laptop, what's nice about the i5 is that it's also a processor that has something called Turbo Boost technology, and so it can actually shut down a core and make it run faster than rated in the case of a application that uses only one internal core, because all these cores, all these i3, i5, and i7 have different cores. Some have 2, some have 4. So depending on what you'll choose, applications also need to use all those cores. So better bang for the buck, i5. Buy an i5. It has an integrated HD graphic architecture that's already there. So there's a built-in graphics processor with the i5, which is often pretty good. Not the best, but it's good, good performance graphics. And finally, who should buy Core i7s? I would say if you're a high power user, you're doing lots of Photoshop stuff, you're playing games on your laptop. These are high demand applications that are better served with an i7 that has more cores, up to 6 on the chip. And also, usually what they do on the i7 is that they'll put a graphics chip on the motherboard, because the i7 does not have necessarily a built-in graphics chip. And so gamers and high power users will be better served with an i7, but it's more expensive. So if you look at that and say, well, should I choose i5 or i7 or i3? Just keep it simple. An i3 will still be a good machine, but slightly slower than an i5. That's the low budget. You don't have too much money to spend on a computer. Hey, buy an i3 and it's going to be okay. You've got more money to put on a computer, then I would generally say take an i5. You'll have better bang for the buck. And well, you're a big power user, business user that needs Photoshop stuff or needs to render videos and stuff like that. Buy an i7. It's much more powerful and will do much more for you. And don't fall into the category of people that buys i7 just because it's more expensive, must be better. Most people do just, nothing with their computer. And for them, even an old Core 2 Duo machine will still do a lot of work and be great. So don't go crazy on choosing your laptop or desktop computer. No money, go with the i3. More money, i5 is the best. And powerful users, go with the i7. Of course, sometimes you've got these sales that brings i7 machines to the level of the i5, for example. Of course, if you're looking at two machines that are the same or almost at, let's say, $699, one has an i5, the other one is in sale for $100 or $200 less, and it's the same price, and it's an i7, and you can go with the i7, of course, because you'll still be paying the same price anyways. So I hope this helps a little bit, and if you have questions on maybe computer that you've seen and you don't know how to really choose, ask away. There's no stupid questions, always remember that. And if you're asking yourself a question, there's a good chance that other people are actually asking the same questions also. If you enjoy our videos, want to learn more about Windows 8, click the subscribe button at the top of the screen. You'll be informed when new videos are online. If you've got a request of an app or a feature you'd like to see reviewed or that we could talk about and explain, let us know. We'll try to put a video online, and hope you come back and watch lots of our videos online that are already more than 100. Lots more coming up. So if you got that new Windows 8 machine, you're a little lost, this is a great channel to learn more about it. So thanks for watching, and hope you come back to the official Windows 8 channel. Bye-bye.